dangerously low on fuel, and every time I punch in a fuel station on this, it sends me to Scotland, so that's ideal. Got about 24 kilometers of range. I'm sure that's enough. There'll be one eventually. Just left La Rochelle about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I slept amazingly. Still, oh, my eyes are watering. Yeah, slept really good. Just just achy. I feel like I've done a workout, you know. Sniffs. Yeah, not much to say really. It's the last day and I'm fucking bummed about it. Just heading to Roscoff to get the ferry. I think my ferry is like 3 o'clock or something. I can't remember. We got plenty of time though, 4.5 hours. It's saying we're going to get there at 11:42. That's not correct at all. But I wanted to allow enough time because if I'm late, they're not going to wait for me. So I need to get there, and it'd be nice to kind of get there, sit down, have something to eat, and then not be running around like a twat hoping that I get there on time because the traffic's bad or something. So I actually thought that was a dude out in the field. It's a scarecrow. Oh, it's moving. What the fuck? Oh, no, it's the wind. It scared the shit out of me. Well, he's doing his job. Oh, it's like Jeepers Creepers. So yeah, yeah, I need fuel bad. But look, if usually you punch in petrol stations. Like, why are you showing me Scotland, Liverpool and London? It's fucking stupid phone. Honestly, Google Maps has been on an absolute wobbly for the last like 3 days. So yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll probably get to about 10 kilometers and I'll start panicking and I'll stop and find one. But at the moment I'm sure there's going to be one somewhere. I'm sure. I feel like my thinking did make sense though, because what I would have had to do is get the Eurotunnel back, and then I would have had a 6-hour ride from Folkestone all the way home again, and I thought that's going to be a shit ride. And imagine if I get there and it's absolutely hoofing it down, because it is England after all, so yeah. That would make it even worse. But then I thought, you know, if I get the ferry, at least I get to sit down for 5.5 hours. I'm going to be bored out of my mind, but it's better than having to ride through the wind and rain of England. But I don't know, it made more sense to me. And then once I arrive in Plymouth, it's only 45 minutes to my house, so it ain't too bad. It'll be alright. I need a petrol station. I need gasoline. Surely there's one here somewhere. Pizza and snacks. What about petrol? So my bike says I've got 15 kilometers. That says the nearest petrol station is 24 kilometers. This should be pretty interesting. I'm just gonna have to baby it there. Oh, and I've got the sniffs again. Nine kilometers. Oh my god! How is there like the whole of La Rochelle? There's no fucking petrol stations. Look at that. That's where I was. There's nothing. And apparently there's 16 up ahead. Fuck's sake. there, closed and closed. This is insane. I'm just gonna head up here, and one of those 5 or 6 is gonna have to be open. If not, I'll just sit there until they do open. I really don't fancy pushing it. This is ridiculous. This is my first fuel scare of the trip, to be fair. It's been really good. Well, I've been really good. I've been like, you know, I usually give myself a threshold, but I said yesterday, I was like, I'm low on fuel, I need to get fuel, and I rode around for ages. There's no fuel stations here. I couldn't find one, because it's like this old historic town. There's no petrol station plonked in the middle of it. It's all out on the outskirts. It's fucking ridiculous. If you run out of fuel in town, you're screwed. Oh, 7Ks, come on. What if I just fucking like all the way there? Math says that I'm not going to make it if I did that. Whereas if I trickle along at 3K, but what if I did 3K in a higher gear? I'd travel further. I mean, I'm in 5th. What? This distance doesn't look like it's getting any smaller. What if I go aerodynamic? One kilometer. Come on. Come on, Total Energies. Oh, it looks very closed. Have they got a pay machine? They do. Yes! Let's fucking go. Look at that. Sorry. Sorry, mate. I won't do it again. Get in my tank. Any guesses? I reckon over 30 euros. 32.50. Oh, that's absolutely brimmed. Oh, 31.60, that was close. We made it with 1 kilometer to spare. Ooh, she's popping and banging now. She didn't sound so good earlier. Now she's like, let me just waste fuel, because I have so much of it. Fucking French, honestly. I literally came on this ramp, so I got my ticket from the toll. So it's one of those where you get your ticket and then you pay for where you've come off. So I get my ticket, I've got on this exit ramp, and there's a service station just down there. I thought, oh, I'll get a quick coffee and then I'll fucking hammer it. So I come off on the exit and it takes me underneath the road. So I'm like, this is weird, there's no service station here. Service station's on the other side. So okay, so I went across that bridge there. Maybe not that bridge, next one. Anyway, so I get into the service station, it's closed. So I'm like, brilliant. So I went for a piss anyway. And then there's no exit ramp on this side of the road. You can only come off on this side, you can't get back on. So I have to go down this road, get off at the fucking exit I just came onto, put my ticket in, it doesn't work, it's refused it, because it's like, why are you here? You got on here. So I pressed the button, spoke to a lady, she's like, okay, you can pay €2.50 and I have to get back on at the same place. So I just paid $2.50 for a fucking piss and 5 kilometers worth of fuel. It's just fucking, oh, mental. Yeah, this one here. Is it that? Yeah, it might be that one. Unbelievable. Right, I've got to crack on. Oh. I mean, that sums it up. 1,500 meters is nothing. Yeah, good one, bud. Fuck's sake. Yeah, it's here. So you have to get off on this ramp, but you can't get back on. Yeah, there. Air de la Vendi. Oh, why do you suck my ass? Absolute scam. Unbelievable. First stop. Quick coffee. Trying to warm my hands up. That's that white knuckle I told you about though. It's like from there up, it's like numb. Hurts, man. We got about 2 hours and 10 minutes to go. I'm gonna need fuel again pretty soon, so I'm looking for a service station. But it's starting to warm up a bit. It's now 16 degrees. I'm still freezing my tits off. I've kind of acclimatized to sitting in 25 to 29 degree weather for the last 2 weeks. So I'm hoping it warms up a bit. Oh, I hate motorway riding. It's so boring. Sorry about the content's probably kind of boring too, but don't know what else to record. We got fuel, 2 hours to go. Quick coffee, a croissant. I'll put an extra layer on as well because looking at the weather, it's not going to get any warmer. Yeah, 16 to 18 degrees is kind of it for us, and then there's a very, very small chance of rain, but we got this cloud cover as well, so it's starting to feel a bit cold. But so yeah, extra layer, keep us comfy. Back on the road. Just can't speak. I'm gonna try and get this last 2 hours done in one go, provided my fingers are not numb by the end of it. Oh. Rock and roll, baby. Let's get home. In Europe. Oh, it's mental. I don't even know how many times I've stopped for fuel, but it's got to be 50 plus, I reckon. Oh, right, 41 minutes to go, 56 kilometers, and then I can change everything back to miles, because we all know that kilometers doesn't make any sense. I've also flashed about 6 or 7 speed cameras in the last 2 hours as well. It's annoying as anything, but oh well. Oh, yay. Pretty boring last day, to be honest, but just gotta get there, you know. So right, I'll give you guys a shout when we get there. Then we got a 5.5 hour ferry journey, and then a little slog home. But it's hard to think that we've still got, what, 10 hours until we get home. Mental. Ciao for now. We are 4 minutes away. We're just about to ride into Roscoff. Hasn't been a bad day, just a bit chilly. Yeah, got extra layers on. It's only 14 degrees. It is 1:30 in the afternoon. We are early, but I'd always rather be early than driving like a tit trying to get on the ferry. Because like I said, if you miss it, they are not waiting for you. Oi, speed bump. Never got on the ferry before. Yes, I have. That's a lie. I was very young though. Definitely not on a bike. Oh, kind of just keen to sit down now. Is there a motorcycle lane or not? Doesn't look like it. Let's go over here. I need my passport. Hello. What do you need? There you go. Stick it on the front if you like.
Yes. A Ducati blue.
Yeah.
No? Ducati is red.
It is.
Yes, and now it's blue.
Yep.
Your passport and your boarding card. Inside the passport,
Thank you.
the custom just behind this car. So you make a stop for the passport, and
Yep.
after you go lane number 1. So
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Only passport.
Sorry.
On helmet off, please.
It's all a bit confusing, isn't it? Just hope my boarding pass doesn't fly off. Push, 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 push. Have to do. That was awful. That ferry shit. There's like 2 shops that sell the same things. Everything's overpriced and there's nothing to fucking do. But we're off, just trying to get through whatever this is. Customs, I guess. Yeah, savage. I just want to go home. I'm so fucking over it. Is he saying bikes that way or what? I don't fucking know. Alright. And in Plymouth is shit. What a what a fucking dive. Oh, I want to go back. I want to go home, but I want to go back. Oh, I'm so fucking over this already. I actually don't have words right now. Just oh man, the blues are kicking in. It's fucking freezing. 12 degrees. Welcome home, buddy. Oh, I just kind of wanted to make the end of this video kind of just to reflect on the whole experience, really. Like, what an incredible opportunity, what just an amazing time away. Literally 2 weeks ago yesterday, I rode all the way up to Folkestone, stayed there for the night, got the Eurotunnel over to Calais, rode down to the Ardennes and stayed there. Not a bad ride, it was pretty decent, mostly motorway miles. Traversed over into Baden-Baden in Germany, top of the Black Forest. Really nice ride, spent the day in Stuttgart and saw the Porsche Museum. Just, yeah, really cool experience, awesome city, really interesting place. And then yeah, rode down through the Black Forest. Again, just like a really, really cool place, incredible roads. Just, oh man, it was really, really cool. Unfortunately, on the way down, got caught in a thunderstorm, as you saw. That's the first video I got footage of, because somebody forgot their GoPro mount for their helmet, and it took me fucking ages to find one. It was basically the little screws, got to be longer because I use a media mod for my camera, and I couldn't get a screw that fit. It was really difficult, but obviously I got one in the end. That was hectic, like trying to find oh, it was awful cough still. Trying to find where I was staying in that awful rain. It's just miserable, but at the same time, like, the views were just, it's hard to kind of put into words, but when you've got those huge like mountains kind of looking down on you, it really makes you feel very small. Stayed in Britain for the night at the Horner pub. It's like a hostel right in the middle of the town there. You wake up and you got views of these huge mountains and waterfalls. It's just really quite magical. Next day, woke up, rode through Switzerland east, took the Flugen Pass over the mountains in the Alps, dropped down into Italy on the other side. That was truly just breathtaking. Big hairpins up, big hairpins down, dropping over into the other side, and all you can see is snow and ice. It was really quite something. Truly just a magical place. It's definitely on my list of places to go to again. I still want to do the Furka and the Bernard Pass, I believe. They were unfortunately closed while I was there. They had really heavy snowfall throughout April and May, so obviously me getting there end of May. The roads weren't open yet, but even in the Flugen Pass, I mean, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, I've got photos of it. The snow walls on the side of the road they're anywhere between 15 and 20 feet high that they carved out the road. It's unbelievable amount of snow there. Yeah, same day dropped into Lake Como. Again, just an incredible place. Really nice. Stayed in a hostel in Lake Como. That was kind of the last of the hostels for me, really. I've got nothing against staying in hostels. They're super cheap. You meet some incredible people. I met a few people from Australia, a couple Americans, really nice guys, but it's the same kind of thing where everyone's there to kind of like meet new people, party. And I was like, I'm so beat, I just want to go to bed. And they had a disco, it was playing music till 2 a.m. Everyone's like fondling in the bunk beds, and I just wanted to go to bed. So next day, rode down into Rimini. So basically the whole way through central Italy was really, really nice. Rimini was beautiful, great beach on the Adriatic coast. And then traversed over the mountains again, big mountain roads, amazing, into Assisi, where my buddy's wedding was. So I had 3 days in Assisi. The wedding was amazing. Just so stoked for those guys, and what an amazing venue. Beautiful place, beautiful people, just awesome, really, really cool. And then probably the worst ride of all, the entire trip, was heading up to Monaco from Assisi. It was just too far. I was on the road for 9 hours, not including stops. That was difficult. I don't know if that's part of the reason that I was just like shutting down. It was really difficult. It was such a hard ride. But at the same time, Monaco was amazing. Like seeing all these supercars and really cool, like the F1 streets and racetrack, and that was sick. And then we rode down to Marseille. Marseille's a shithole. Don't recommend it to anybody. I did enjoy that. My first hotel was awful, so I ended up booking an Airbnb, which then cancelled on me, and I ended up staying in a place called the B&B Hotel. I think it's like a chain in France, kind of like a travel lodge, I suppose. It wasn't too bad, but it was really comfortable, so it was fine. from Marseille into Barcelona. Again, Barcelona is really cool. I think it's one of them places that you can't really go for one night. It's a really nice destination, but I wouldn't recommend it for, you know, touring on a bike. It's probably not one of those things that are like, I don't know, I think there's a lot more that I could have done in hindsight. So I came back up the other coast, so my thinking was, I mean, purely for this reason, if it was raining today, I'd have 45 minutes quick ride home. Like right now I'm about half an hour away, so I've just got off at Plymouth about a quarter of an hour ago. Sun's going down. Yeah, it's a 45-minute ride to home, like no issues at all. It's just easier. I managed to stick my earplugs in, put my feet up on a bench at the back of the ferry, got about 2 hours sleep, but fucking hell was it boring. There's nothing to do on there. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, if I was here with a friend or went traveling with a friend, it'd be very different. Connect up the centres, just chat some shit while you're riding, have a few laughs. You know, you can have lunch together, you meet people, it's all fun really. Doing it on your own, I'd say you got to do it once, at least once. It's very interesting. You don't have to cater for anybody. If you want to go do something, you go do it. You want to eat here, you go eat there. You want to stop for a beer, you know, you want to get fuel and hang out for an hour before you get back on the road again, you do whatever you want. You know, you don't have to cater for other people, which is really nice. But at the same time, I really do wish that for sure next time I'm going to try and recruit people or just make friends along the way and just be like, look, I'm going these places, just send it. What would be interesting is just to not plan a route at all, and just ride, see where you end up. You know, say, oh, I don't know, I want to go Croatia. Oh, fuck it, let's go Croatia. We'll stop along the way somewhere. You could camp if you want to. I know a lot of people that do the camping side of things. For me personally, it's too much shit to take. You know, I've got this bag on the back. It's about 35 to 40 kilos of stuff. I've probably overpacked slightly, but at the same time, imagine taking a tent, a sleeping bag, and all that shit. Like, nah, it's not for me. If you got an adventure bike and you got all the racking and, you know, 107 bags on the back of the bike, it's probably okay. But for me personally, it's just not for me. What else? Yeah, so went down to Barcelona, then rode up to Hossegor. Growing up, like as a kid, I did a bit of surfing, but mostly I was a big bodyboarder. Me and my buddy Will used to get bodyboarding all the time, so I thought Hossegor would be fun because the surf there is like a one wave break. They get incredible surf there, and I thought, oh, okay, 2 days in Hossegor, if it's good surf I can go for a sponge, get out on the board, you know, just get a rental or something. It'd be really cool. Of course, when I get there, it's super windy, offshore, really flat, throppy shit. And what's weird, I don't know if it's because it's off season, there was no one there. The whole town was empty. So yeah, I was there for 2 days. I was getting to a point where I was looking at how much a ferry from Santander back home was, because I was like, there's no point me slogging it back for no reason. But I mean, the ferry was £300, so I just wasn't going to do that, although I probably paid that in fuel getting home. Maybe not, but you know what I mean. So yeah, again, in hindsight, I think Eurotunnel is definitely the way to go. It's so convenient. You basically pull up, you got a queue for a little while because it's very heavy. To be fair, the day I travelled on the Eurotunnel, it was the first day of half term for the summer. So it's my own fault. I didn't do, you know, it just, like I said, with the wedding and everything, it's just the way that it worked out. But next time, I would definitely do sort of a late June, July trip. Again, I'd always rather be swelteringly hot than cold. And there's a few days on this trip where either I got rained on or it was very, very chilly. Although, like I said, you can always put layers on, but I think in hindsight, again, the way to go is get the Eurotunnel over, send it through the Alps, just the most incredible roads ever. I probably wouldn't bother doing the Black Forest, maybe again. I think it's one of those things where when you've seen it, you've kind of done it. Like, the roads are amazing, but they're too busy now as well. It's a very heavily populated with bikes, but also there's so many police there. There's speed cameras everywhere. like, unless you're going to spend a couple days there and you've got links there, it's probably a good place to go. But I would say the Alps is the way to go 100%. And then rather coming up the west coast of France like I did, I would come back up through the Alps again. So rather than doing a loop like this, I would go down through the Alps. Yeah, you got to do Italy. Italy's phenomenal. I'd highly recommend that. But I'd probably come up the other side. So I'd come down the west coast of Italy, do Positano, the Amalfi Coast on the bike would just be phenomenal. Come back up the other side, head into Austria. That's something I want to do next time. I want to see a little bit more of Switzerland. However, Switzerland's not very big, but they do have a lot of the passes, or like sort of the border cross from country to country, mostly Switzerland, Austria, Switzerland, Italy. Those passes through the mountains are just breathtaking. And I definitely want to see a bit more of like southeast France rather, heading back up towards the Alps again. Doing the Verdun Gorge was fucking phenomenal. It was so good. One of the highlights of the trip for sure. Fortunately, it's one of the ones where I had numerous GoPro issues, which is a shame. I've got some footage on my phone and stuff, but it's those mountains where it's just sheer rock faces, and you know, the roads cut in between, and it really is, again, without using the same term over and over again, it really is like a very magical place. But if you go north of there towards Lyon, you've got a place called the Combe-la-Val, which is same kind of thing, but it's like you've got like a 200-foot drop, or 200-meter drop rather. It's massive. It's like a canyon, and you're riding in a road that's carved into the side of that rock face, and absolutely phenomenal. Google it, Comble-la-Val, I believe. Combe-la-Val, something like that. Anyway, check it out. Just look at the photos. It's mental. But that's something I like to do. Maybe like half back up through Geneva, something like that. Anyway, and then yeah, for sure next time I think I just want to find like POIs that are closer together. Again, the way I planned it was kind of around the wedding, so I picked spots that I'd like to do. Again, growing up kind of surfing, bodyboarding as a kid, I wanted to see Hossegger. It was always on kind of a list of mine, so that was kind of incorporated. That was the reason for doing like Barcelona and stuff, just because it was all kind of in a loop and en route. But I'd probably change that next time for sure. But other than that, like, what a phenomenal trip. Sorry if it's going a bit blurry, by the way. I've got an ND filter on my camera. I could probably take it off. It's probably not a good idea, but this is really sketchy. Is that better? I don't know. I've got to try and put this away without dropping 50 quid on the floor. I also now don't have protection on my camera lens, but fuck it. Yeah, just crazy. How much does it cost? A lot of fucking money. You can do a hell of a lot cheaper than I did, I promise you that. Again, because I was doing so many miles, I didn't stick to cheap accommodation. You can camp, you can get hostels. There's so many ways you can do it cheaply. Because I was doing so many miles, I just needed somewhere to sleep that was quiet, comfortable, and I could get some hours in. And even after that, I was fucking struggling, like really struggling. I mean, some days I was doing 400 to 500 miles, and yeah, it's just, my body was like shutting down. It just had enough. I mean, you saw it when I left Barcelona and I was coming up through the Pyrenees. I had to pull over, like, I was riding on one of the roads, like I was only an hour and a half into the ride. My head's just spinning, the road's doing this like rotating thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, just felt awful. I don't know if it was like a bit of dehydration, but I also, like, I'm still sniffing. I thought it was like hay fever or something. I might be ill, I don't know. I don't feel like flu or anything, but I guess in a way, like minorly. Like my body was aching all over, but I thought that was because of the ride. Sniffing, sneezing. I've got this really dry cough still. Oh, it's fucking COVID, mate. Nah, COVID doesn't exist, don't be silly. So that probably didn't help either, that I was kind of sick. That's what you get for kissing strangers, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's there's definitely cheaper ways you can do it. Accommodation, I spent about £450. Again, I did it the expensive way, but still that's not bad considering I was away for just over 2 weeks. Yeah, just over 2 weeks. £450 for accommodation. And again, for the wedding, I booked somewhere quite nice. I also spent a little bit extra in Marseille because I had to book another place because the one I went to was horrible. So you can do that cheaper. So about 450 for accommodation. Fuel. Fuel was a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I budgeted for, so here in the UK right now, back at home when I left for work on the Friday, I filled my car up and I paid 148.9 a litre. So I budgeted for, 4,000 miles at roughly 45 to 50 miles per gallon. I've been averaging, I'll show you now, sorry, bear with me, come on, don't crash. I've been averaging 58.1 miles per gallon on the Diavel. I'm so impressed with this bike, but I'll get to that later on. So impressed. So 58.1 miles per gallon. But the fuel in Europe, mate, cheapest I paid was in Spain, and I paid 179.9 a litre. Switzerland, I paid £2.10 a litre, and then France, Italy, Germany, they all averaged anywhere from 190 to 185 a litre. So it was a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be. However, I put aside I think it was about £700 for fuel, and I went just slightly over that, like maybe 10-20 quid. So accommodation and fuel, just over £1,000 basically. Other than that, the ferry, so you got to book early bird. If you're planning on going away, book early bird. Don't do it last minute because it will cost you a fortune. So if I booked the ferry today from France to the UK, it would cost me £175 for me and the bike. I booked it in December last year. It's now June. Bear in mind I left in last week of May. That cost me 65 quid. Alright? The Eurotunnel, same thing. Don't book last minute. Book it in advance because you get early bird prices. The Eurotunnel cost me 35 quid for me and the bike. So for those two, I don't know, let's call it 90 quid. Let's call it 100 quid. So you're looking at about 1,100 to 1,200 pounds. So that's all your travel, all your fuel, all your accommodation, okay? Breakdown insurance, £12.50 I think. Covers me for the whole of Europe for 2 weeks. Holiday insurance was £30 I think. That covers me for loss of equipment, phone, GoPro, laptop, everything I've got with me, the bike, whatever, alright? European insurance I already had with my insurance anyway, but double check you've got that because that's something you'll need to take. So all in all, 1,200 to 1,300 quid this trip has cost me. Life-changing experience. What would you spend on an all-inclusive to sit on a beach for a week in fucking Mexico? 1,500 quid? I'd take this over that any fucking day of the week. Any day of the week, 100%. Just unbelievable. Obviously on top of that you got to add in your food. Again, this is down to you. Like, you can find a little shop somewhere, buy some bread and some meat and make a sandwich for the day. again, like I said in the videos, I don't really eat during the day. I kind of intermittent fast, not on purpose. It's just how I do life. I don't eat breakfast. I always feel a bit sick after breakfast. Everyone says the most important meal of the day. It's not. It's absolute bollocks. You don't need to eat breakfast. It's just government fucking. It's Matrix, mate. Coffee. Don't buy coffee in service stations. Do not buy coffee in service stations. So, for example, I stopped in a service station just before I got to Roscoff, and I had a white coffee, about that big, just a plain white coffee. It cost me €3.80. Absolutely ridiculous. When I was in Italy, you stop in a little cafe on the side of the road, you get a homemade croissant or some kind of pastry and a double espresso. Their coffee's amazing. If you don't like espressos, try it. Homemade pastry and a double espresso, €2. Bargain. And that's you covered for like a couple of hours, easy. Dinner over there, you can get a meal for anywhere from $8-9 to $15-30. I mean, you know, you can spend as much as you want. I like to have a beer at the end of the day just because I'm knackered and I enjoy a beer. Same kind of thing, really. Italy, you're looking at like €5 for a pint. Switzerland, I paid €12, I think. But Switzerland's just mega money anyway. You just have to expect that. When I was in Hossegger, I found a cool little bar. Went in there and he did all like craft ales and stuff, and I was like, oh, what would you recommend? He was like, oh, you should try the American IPA. And I was like, okay, I'll try one of those. He was like, yeah, it's €15. I was like, what? You taking the fucking piss, mate? You just recommend the most expensive beer in the world. So again, it's, you know, what you spend on food and drink is completely up to you. If you're out with your mates cruising around Europe and you want to have a fucking binge fest on the weekend and get, you know, that's up to you at the end of the day, that, you know. But all in all, you know, I think on average I spent maybe €15 to €20 a day on food. Like, it's not a lot. It just depends how much you eat. I don't like riding with a full stomach full of McDonald's. I don't really eat fast food anyway. So again, you know, that's up to you. But all in all, minus food, because that's, you know, food is, what's the word? Depends on the person. I know what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, get the bike to Europe and back. Insurance, breakdown cover, whatever, accommodation, fuel, you're looking at about 12 to 1300 quid, and that was 2 weeks. If you want to do a long weekend, you could do it for 400 or 500 quid. Probably cheaper than that, actually. Probably a lot cheaper than that. If you went for 1 week, 12 days, whatever. Bearing in mind, you have to remember how many miles I did as well. I did 4,000 miles in 2 weeks. If you wanted to ride up to Folkestone, it depends where in the UK you're from, but if you went to Folkestone, got the Eurotunnel over, rode down to like Lyon or something in a day, or wherever, Paris, head down to South France, do a couple days in the canyons, do the Alps, head back up the other side, Eurotunnel back, you're probably looking at 400 or 500 quid, and what a time away. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just, it's not that expensive if you think about it. Think about the experiences you're going to have. Watch my videos, look at what I got to see. And again, it's really difficult to get everything on camera. Like, this is something I'm still learning. I do it for fun, I don't do it for work, I don't get paid for it. You know, it's really difficult to capture everything. Like, for example, when I was in the Verdun Gorge, every corner you go around is like, oh my god, whoa, dude, far out. Like, every single corner. I can't put a 3.5 hour video up on YouTube because no one's going to watch it. I can record it for myself and watch it back every now and again, but you know, that's like 12 batteries, and I'm sorry, I'm not doing it, because then I have to stop every 45 minutes to change a battery out. So you have to remember that too. You know, watch my videos, see the sights that I got to see. Remember that GoPro doesn't do anything justice, because quite frankly, they are shit cameras. they're useful. Like, I can put it on the front of my helmet, you can see it there, record a video, I can plug a mic in, you can hear me talk, audio is good, visual's good sometimes. I've recorded everything in 4K and I've been watching it back on the laptop, it looks dog shit, so we'll see what happens. But more than anything, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for checking out all, or if any, of the videos that I put up. This trip's just been absolutely mind-blowing. It's changed my life. Just what an incredible time away. Yeah, I don't know what to say really, just like thank you so much for all and any support. If you like them, stick a like on it. You don't have to. It just gives me an idea if you know whether it's doing alright or not, whether you want more content like this. I can't afford it until next year, but you know, if you like that content, you know, if you like the stuff that I put out, subscribe if you want to. If you want to see more of it, if you want to see when I put a new video up, click the bell notification. It just pops up, says Duca Bench. Oh, by the way, I've changed my name to Duca Bench because Banjo Rise was a bit sexual. I'm not that big, I've got like 70 subscribers, I don't think anyone will care. Yeah, hit the bell notification and let you know when I put new videos up. And yeah, man, just appreciate all your support, guys, and yeah, till next time. I'll stick some more videos up in the coming weeks, months, whatever. There's a little bit more work I want to do to the old Duca bike. It really needs a wash, it probably needs a service. I need to lube the chain, clean it, and it needs a bit of TLC, because she fucking deserves it, I tell you. Quick review of the Diavel 1260, fucking ace. What a fucking bike. Like, honestly, what a fucking bike. My dream bike, didn't skip a fucking beat. 2 punctures, plugged them, banging. Amazing tyres, Michelin Power 6s, fucking brilliant. Awesome bike. I'm 4,000 miles down. My, you know, wrists are fine, back's fine, bum's fine. We're blazing, man. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Till next time. Woo!